shed. Well, welcome back to the SV650 rebuild, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Crew Engineering because they've supplied me with an O-ring at £6 including VAT, saving over £20 on original parts. Right, let's move on. Started on the wheels next, undoing the bolts for the discs, extremely tight. And as I knelt on the floor, struggling with my normal Allen key, I thought to myself, why don't I just get my 1/2 inch ratchet? And as if by magic, the ratchet appeared. And to my total surprise, we got no seized bolts, which makes life a heck of a lot easier. Right, that's one disc off, so time to flip her over and see if we can get the other side off. And again, same as the first side, all the bolts came out, no problem whatsoever. At this point, feeling fairly smug with myself because it looks as though I have got fairly decent bargain. For once in my life, I might actually have a bike that could be worth a little bit of money at the end of it instead of losing like I do with all the others. Time to set to and clean all this corrosion off the wheel. Started with a wire wheel on the angle grinder, and then I thought I'd try a bit of wet and dry just to see if I could bring it up any better. I'm now in two minds whether to send the wheels along with the frame to powder coating. I'll see how I get on with the wet and dry first, but I've a feeling trying to polish the rims is going to be a very, very long job. Cleaning it up, and I've come across this, so this might actually end up making the decision for me. Quite a bad dent, but I don't think it'll affect the wheel at all. Made fairly good progress on the front wheel, so I thought I'd attack the back wheel as well, get them both sorted. More rusty nuts, but hey, I love a challenge. Stuck the sprocket in the vise because it wasn't being kept anyway. Didn't even bother with the GT85 this time, just got my socket and the nuts came loose, no hesitation whatsoever. So I removed the sprocket, turned the wheel over and set to with the rear disc. Again, no issues whatsoever, all the bolts came out, I was well pleased. Disc was stuck on the wheel though, so I had to get my mallet and just give it a quick tap. Then it was back to cleaning wheels up. Bit of emery cloth and a wire brush, and I actually found out that the best thing to use was a little round wire brush in my drill. This brought most of the detritus off. I was then back on the emery cloth. Did the same with the sprocket carrier really, so yeah, we've ended up now that we've got some half decent wheels. But the question's got to be powder coat or paint. Sounds like a song there somewhere. Time to start work on the forks now. Bit worried about these because the guy reckons that he'd taken the front end off to fix a problem with the forks. So this is one job I've been putting off. When I bought the bike, one fork leg was already out. It was laid by the side of the bike. It's been there for years by the look of it. The other one was still on. He reckoned he hadn't taken it apart, but you never know. First things first, I noticed that one of the front mudguard bolts was stuck in the fork leg. I was hoping and praying that the guy hadn't snapped it off and damaged one of the legs. As the hex head bolt had seen better days, it was proper mangled. I ended up hammering one of my hex sockets into the bolt and got me ratchet, and with a little bit of easing it started to move. I was amazed at the amount of corrosion. but at the same time I was pleased that it had come out. So last job of the evening was to get rid of this tacky, horrible carbon lux sticker thing that's over the fork legs. I have a feeling he put it on to stop any damage on the front forks through weather, etc. Because again, another one of Suzuki's little foibles, they're not the best in the world, they fur up quite quickly. Peeled off fairly easy, to be honest, but I thought I'd get the blowtorch on it as well just to warm it up, and it made life a lot easier. So tonight's job is going to be stripping the forks down, seeing if there's any parts missing, anything else, and hopefully clean the legs up and then build them back up again. One more job to put a tick by. Undid the pinch bolts on the yokes and then give the forks a little bit of a wiggle. Strangely, the left-hand one, this is the one that I actually picked up off the floor that the guy had left in pieces on his dad's driveway, seemed to be the hardest to get out. Nice and easy to actually pull apart because it was all in bits anyway, so it didn't take me too long to get it into its component parts. Fork tube looks in really good condition, which I'm dead pleased about. Which is more than can be said for the spring spacer. I found this on his dad's drive by the garage door, so it had been sat there for getting on 6 years. I'll cut it some slack seeing as it's been left out in all weathers. Bit of emery cloth on everything that was rusty, it's brought everything up quite nicely. I'll probably soak all the rusty stuff in oil as well. Now I know I said I was thinking of putting a GSXR front end on it, but at the moment funds are fairly tight. I have got another bike here that I'm thinking of selling, but I do have a set of CBR 600 F3 forks sat in the shed doing nothing, being the hoarder that I am. And I've read up on an American site that you can use the CBR internals for the SV650. First generation SVs were built on a budget, so they didn't have adjustable forks, whereas the CBR 600 F3 has adjustable rebound and damping. So I had a play this evening, took the forks apart, and hey presto, everything seems to go together quite nicely. What the damping's going to be like, I haven't got a clue until we get the bike back together again. But it's all one big learning curve at the end of the day. So once again, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, catch you on the next instalment.